Hey there, I'm Curly, and welcome to Unfiltered and Undiscovered, the podcast where three music lifers dig into the songs, the stories, and the legends of music that may not have crossed your radar yet. But if you're new here, let me set the scene. I'm the punter, the guy who swears that the best music, the best Australian independent music, was in 1986. I've got the record collection to prove it. Now, joining me each week, I've got Braggy. He's a lifelong muso, a dreamer that's still waiting for that one song of his to go viral. He knows his stuff and he loves digging into lyrics. And of course, we've got Rossy. Rossy, the roadie, the manager, and the guy with the story about every band that's ever plugged into a pub PA system anywhere from Perth to Parramatta. Together, we get unfiltered with the best undiscovered artists across Australia and occasionally the world. And occasionally, we also talk a whole lot of rubbish around artists that we already love. Let's get into it. Hey there, everyone. It's Curly here, and welcome to episode 211 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. We are three old blokes with one obsession, and that's music that matters. Unfiltered chats with undiscovered artists. Every week on the pod, it's guitars, grit, and the good stuff that you're just not going to hear on mainstream radio. This is Unfiltered and Undiscovered, and wherever you're watching and listening, please hit that like and subscribe button so we can be found by more people, and subsequently the artists that we speak to can get found by more people. Let's welcome in our two co-hosts. We've got Rossy from, there's only a certain part of Sydney I found out because of people on the northern side of the bridge are actually Queenslanders. So we've got Rossy from Sydney, and then we've got Braggy from Adelaide. How are you, Braggy? How was the 2-day test in your mind, mate?
Well, as long as we win, it's okay. And I'm not one of these people who wants to. Everyone's saying, "Oh, I hope it's close." Fuck off! I want 5-0.
I want them humiliated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, no, it was good. Looking forward to Brisbane, and then looking forward to Adelaide. So,
as long as Brisbane can get some playing, because it's been horrific for Storms up this end of town. I'm sure that you've got them on the northern side of the that Sydney town as well, on over the other side of the bridge, Rossy.
Yeah, it's been a bit miserable at times here. I'm just glad when you talk about old guys and guitars, and it's just very, very good to hear that you've actually come to the other side of our old man club.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Curly.
Or
young fella, as I like to call him, young Tony.
Yeah, I am the youngest on the panel, aren't I?
So, maybe not tonight. I think our guest might be the youngest.
So let's introduce our guest. So back in episode 200, Braggy introduced you to award-winning songwriter Ben Evolent, and Northern Territory folk reggae blues artist. He's got a healthy dose of raw emotion, relatable truths, lovable memories, and lively hooks. So welcome to the show, Ben. So do we call you Ben, or do we call you your real name?
As you want, gents. That's up to you. I get called a lot. Being a school teacher and that, I get called a lot of things in the day.
I thought that would be a good way to start, Josh.
Okay, we've got that clear then.
All right, so I better write that down so I don't stuff up.
Well, benevolent's just a word. For those illiterate people, you can look it up in the dictionary.
It's a cool name. But I just I think my first question is how you started. Like, when was music first the thing for you? When did you first hear it? When you were young, you go, "Fuck, that's what I want to do," or were your parents into it? I noticed this is a two-part question. I noticed your last name's Tarka. You know, relation to Doug Tarka with the floating hotel, are you?
Probably, because there's not many Tarkas in Australia, so I would say probably there's a relation long lost.
Yeah. So when did music first start for you, mate? How did it become a thing?
Always a love of music. I think that really it started when one of my mates, we were AFL footy players, and as young kids in South Australia, we grew up in the Barossa Valley. We needed something else to do, and he got guitar training, and so I was his bass player, and then we formed a little band, and that was what we were 16, I think, and 16, 17, then left school, and then really, I had knee reconstruction, so footy career was over, and it was all music. I went travelling, and I didn't come back for about 10 years, and it was all about music.
It's all about. So you left Adelaide or Barossa?
Yeah, left Adelaide at 17, travelled up the east coast of Australia as far as I could, came back down, hid the music. No one knew I played music, not even some of my best mates back in the Barossa. I made trips back there. And then eventually, after years of travelling, I ended up in Africa. I ended up in a few other places after.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Where music really came to me was in Africa. I met a guy called Gaspar Nali sitting on the shores of Lake Malawi, one of the poorest countries in Africa, and he came up to me. I was playing, and I was playing to myself, and he came up, and he's like, "How can you be so selfish? How can you keep this gift to yourself?
Oh,
There's so many other people out there, and even if you've got one person at the gig or you affect one person's life, that's what you need to do. You need to share this music." And it really got me. It got under my skin, and I went and seen his gig that night. I didn't know he was a muso. Like, he was just fretting around on the guitar while I was playing, and he'd made his own instrument. And his instrument was called the babatoni, and his babatoni is about 3 meters long, and he plays it with one string and with a bottle and a stick, and he plays the blues, Malawian blues. And it really humbled me as an individual to go, okay, yeah, I get it now. Yeah, so that it is a gift, and I should share it. And after that moment, and that was, geez, I'd been hiding the talent away, I guess, for 10 years before that came out.
Wow. That sounds like someone who... Oh, sorry, Rossy.
So what made you self-conscious about it? Why were you hiding it, do you think?
I don't know. I guess, when you walk up to a piano and all the keys are black and white, and you go, oh, that's daunting. But if you knew it was just 7 keys, you'd be like, that's not as daunting as it seems. And a lot of my writing was more diary entries. So it was more like you're showing people the inner workings of your life and all the sadness that I had, and of love and all the youth in me. So I guess it was hard to share that, especially coming from a small country town where it was footy mad and so to speak. But to find, after years of doing it, to find a guy like Gaspar that really just put it straight and simple, and he just said, mate, you should go to share your gift. So and there'll be one person.
When did you start writing, Josh? So did you, like you said, you kind of started when you were 17, fucking around Barossa, and then you obviously playing bass, but obviously you switched to guitar somewhere up and down the coast. Did you start writing then, or was it not till you got to Africa, or was it?
It was pretty much straight away.
Okay.
I know. I guess a lot of songwriters have it. You've got something to say. It was my diary writing, like, yes, this girl was no good to me, or, I felt hurt by this. It was a lot of love stories. My life was more so about love at that point. And I wrote and wrote and wrote. There's so many songs I wrote in that, and I probably couldn't even couldn't rehearse one now, but there was so many in that era that was all about love. And probably from 17 to 26, I got back from Africa about 27. So yeah, there was a lot. It was all love.
It's the cathartic nature of songwriting, right?
Love or it's normally love or something you've lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you get back and you moved up to Darwin. Is that right?
Yep.
And that's when we get your first recordings.
So the first recording I recorded in Malawi, but I only released in Darwin. So while I was in Malawi, I met a Swedish producer, who's Matthias, who was there, who was living in a little mud house.
Yeah.
And he had driven his little little car down from Sweden and had ended up in the same place as I was. And he was recording a lot of the local musicians there. He started up a record label, Spare Door Records, to release a lot of music through for the Malawian people.
Yeah.
And look, I spent probably a month trying to meet this guy or wanting to meet this guy, and then finally stars aligned and I met him, and we went in and recorded our first little take. And then what I did was I basically went to the streets and just tried to find as many people that could add to the color of what I was doing at the time. And I think we got, 10 nationalities? There was 12 different people and about 10 nationalities on that first recording, which gives you a scope of where we were in the Nakata Bay in Malawi. It was quite a diverse town. Was on that first recording. You know, there was people that had never played. Oh, I haven't played recorder for so long, and there you go. She was playing recorder. It was like that, you know. Do you play violin? Oh, great, you're in. You know, like whatever it was.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great tale.
I just hocking in everyone, and it ended up being a great little record, and it inspired me to want to keep doing it. Obviously, Matisse had a great ear for sound, and he put in his own little spin. He loved the lead guitar and played the bass, and he loved the element of me trying to hock people in as well, because that made it more adventurous for him. For him to know more musos made it easier for him to help out for the local crew.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, that's the first.
That's the first. So that's the first one. But then you get up to Darwin.
Yeah.
And I know you go really well up there. And that's kind of the ones, I guess that's the first ones that we've got on Spotify. Is it right? Like Larrikin and
that's the Benevolent Next Time EP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, Dave.
Just so frustrated. I guess I'll see you around sometime. This love is my weakness, my strengths are all dreams, and I bet you'd make a lovely wife. We know the sun is coming up and the wind is coming in, and I'm drinking my wine. Oh, I'm resting in the clouds and just defeating all the doubt and just figuring out the next time. Yeah, sorry, Dave.
I was going to say that those first, because what I want to get to is your album, because I really love that. I like that album a lot. I've been listening to it obviously before when we're going to have you listen, and I re-listen again today. Those first few songs, like Next Time, Winner, and Larrikin, they seem kind of really positive songs. Optimistic, I'd say.
Oh, they definitely are.
So that was a good time for you there in Darwin.
Darwin's the place that keeps on giving, Dave. Like it really is. It is the place that keeps on giving. I would still be there if it wasn't for children and a wife that needs the ocean a bit more than I do. So it's the place that keeps on giving. It gave me so much. Like I rocked in there. I ended up being a tour guide out in Kakadu for 6-7 months or so. And then in a chance meeting, I was extremely hungover one morning, and I met a girl who had a job, but she was pregnant and she wanted to give me the job. She'd heard me play music once, I think. And she said, would you like to have this job and go out to community and the Tiwi Islands and basically be the Wiggles for all the community? And so I was a music teacher out in the Tiwi Islands for about 5 or 6 years.
Oh, wow.
After that little encounter. And then from there, it was out to Goulburn Island, Croker Island, Bellew and community. It's just amazing. Like just the place that keeps on giving. I recommend everyone should go there, really.
Do you get back there?
I haven't been back. It's one of those tales that I've talked to friends this year, wanting to get back to play some music, but suddenly it gets a bit harder to move around with 4 little ones.
Yeah, and you got a couple of awards while you're up there. So, Song of the Year in 2016. So, which one was that for?
For Next Time, and that was a tourism award.
Yeah,
that they put on. Next Time was a song, and then they gave me a grant basically to do a little film clip and I squeezed the whole record out basically, and they let me record the whole EPE with the same grant.
Oh, nice.
So that's the world music side of what you do. I'm really interested in what you call Drunken Blues and what's that all about.
Well, the Drunken Blues goes to there's a song called Dagger. So there was a time in Darwin playing the soul Drunken Blues, which is distorted, it's a different kind of writing to what I'd normally write, a bit more poetic, I guess. It comes really easy to write the blues songs, but it was dirty. I've got a whole album. I've never released it, which is a live album. I've released one song off it. Was called Dagger. I don't know if you boys, if you get on YouTube, watch Dagger. That's the kind of vibe of the dirty blues. I just got into the blues. The blues is great.
Yes, it is.
Do you reckon I have this thing? I think with I talk about with Waxy a lot, and my brother, and because my brother was like a big influence on me, and he in early days when I was little introduced me to Tony Joe White and those things.
Yeah.
And we always say that up north, Darwin especially, I guess, and where I'm from, Townsville, it's kind of a little bit like the South of America, where it's hot, it's humid, there's cane, there's crocodiles instead of alligators. It's a bit racist.
I've been up there. I agree with you entirely.
And it's
it's the same thing.
I feel like there's a connection. I don't know if it's the weather or what it is that causes that.
It's the swampiness, that swampy
swampiness.
Hot. As the hot things move slower, like it's hot. And I'm sure the top, like I know Alice. I've been to Alice, and it's hot, man. It can get very hot and dry, right? So I think that's got something to do. But like up where you came from, that's sweaty hot, right?
Yeah. And there's some absolute sweaty, swampy BAMs up there as well, which adds to it. And everyone in Darwin gets behind the music scene.
That's great.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most friendliest music scene that I have witnessed.
Really?
Yeah. I guess there's also a lot of Indonesians too that come down from there, wouldn't there? Into Darwin?
Proximity to Indonesia, East Timor, heaps of Timorese.
Yeah, they can play.
Oh, mate, you're so close to Asia there that's where a lot of Philippines, everyone's that's your main point of call. It's Darwin, that's your close.
There's a lot of philos who are merchant seamen too, right? And there's some damn good musicians amongst the Philippine community.
Oh yes, there is. Yeah.
Oh boy, they're the great. Like in a way, some of them are the great mimickers, but like they start off by mimicking, but their skill level and their discipline and stuff, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know some Anglo people seem to sit there. Yeah, I can play a little bit. These guys, they study it and they refine it, and it shows when they come to play. Geez, they play it well,
and they bring it too, don't they?
They
really bring it. Got a musical soul, a lot of those fellows, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry,
Josh, one of the things that stands out for me when I listen to your music, I had your music on for a fair bit today, just on shuffle, just letting it do its thing. And it's the wide range. Like 1 minute we're in a Caribbean island with a bit of bloody reggae happening. The next thing we're in a smoky blues bar. The next thing we're in a Sunday session out in the back, out of the back garden of the pub.
Curly's got a beer and he's
I've got a beer and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking that's pretty bloody cool. And then all of a sudden you throw a little bit of what, it's almost it's as close to country as what you probably going to admit. But you've got all these genres that just sort of intertwine and mingle around with your songs. Is that just something you're conscious about, or do your songs just come out as they come out? Is that a natural thing or a conscious thing?
It's definitely not a conscious thing. They come out as they come out, and I guess that's why it's so hard to, like, when you're doing an album, for say how to choose the songs or whatever you like. But sticking true to Benevolent, that's whatever comes out comes out. There's so many. Even now when I write, there's so many different styles of music, and it's hard to go, oh, should I choose this song to play, or should I choose this song to play? It just comes magnetically into me, and I don't get to choose that. Some days it's blues and it's the dirty blues. The next day it might be a real lovely folk song.
Yeah.
It all sounds like you though, mate.
Yes, it's definitely me. It's not the talking me, it's the singing me.
I mean, the variety just sounds like it comes from someone who's gone from freaking the Barossa to fucking Africa
and
to
back.
the Northern Territory.
Yeah. That eclectic mix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eclectic life, eclectic mix of music. Pick it up.
Well, and all those influences, those world influences, all your travels, you just pick stuff up everywhere you go, surely.
Oh, you do, yeah, definitely. I wish I had been into music a bit more like I am now. When I was traveling, like I was a bit more insular when I was traveling, and it was still more my thing, my diary writing and whatever. But it's to be able to do it again would be amazing. But that's the gift that I give the kids, and it's really love to have that diversity. I don't know where it comes from when you write. I don't know where it comes from when that song comes to you, and suddenly you're on a reggae vibe, and that's what it needs to be. And I just flow with it.
I hear it said the songs are out there. You just got to grab them.
Oh, mate, they come through, mate. I can't help myself.
And I've been in doubt too many times. The trust is my belief. I've seen the forest far from the trees, been isolated for so many weeks. I've been round too many times. It's just like counting sheep. Would you follow if I'm all ready to go?
So I want to move. I want to keep following the story now, and so I want to talk about the next sort of album is just Wanderers, which is the kind of the big thing that you've got out there, and that's like 2020, is it, or
2020, like straight in the heart of COVID, really.
Straight in the heart of COVID. And I just like the way that it flows, and I had all these theories written down that I was going to tell you, but something just makes me click now when you talk about writing diaries. So I'm wondering now if this album comes from those diaries from Africa.
Oh, it's diaries of many years on the road. And that's wondrous, the word as well, like wandering wonderfully, like there's so many times that I've been wandering around aimlessly, not knowing where you're going, not knowing when the next thing's going to come, and hoping it will. And that's the wondrous, that's the love of not knowing also. And the music in that, most of it was written over that time. It's not necessarily just one part of my life. It's definitely a collection of all of it.
Okay. because when you listen to an album, well, I don't know when you guys are like I read it like a book, you know, and hopefully people when they make albums they take the time to put them in order and like. So I'll read you what I wrote. Okay.
Go, Dave.
Well, see what you think.
So, did you make a diary note here, Braggy?
This is what I wrote last time before when we're going to have Josh on because I was listening.
No, he's in good company. I was listening to an interview this week with John Fogerty, and he just carried a book around with him since day one. And like on the first page, the first line is "Proud Mary." And on the first page, it says "Riverboats," and that was before he even wrote those songs. That was when he was in the army. So keep writing in the book, Braggy. You keep doing what you're doing.
No, it's Josh. It's got the diary. It's got all the lyrics.
I get it, Robbo. I've got a bag of books here. That I have had for the last 20 years, and they're small. I don't know what they are. They're A2s or something. They're tiny ones, probably less than A2. But I've got probably 50 of them that are all under lock and key, and I go back through them, and I can still hear the melody in the song.
Well, young fella's got his phone. He's got his phone. He's got like 1,000 riffs and licks, and he'll sit there and like or sing a line. And he goes when he's struggling, he goes back and he starts looking through them because a mate of mine told him to do it because he says it's like stealing from yourself.
Yeah.
You did the work. The ideas came. You just got to pluck the ideas and grab them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Braggy, back to your diary.
It starts with the protagonist in a clapped out hotel. Yeah, hotel shelter. And I love the line in there, broken glass covers the floor, local law covers the walls. Is that like graffiti on the walls?
Yep, local art covers the walls. So I can tell you about that, Braggy. That is, I had a photo shoot in a vacant building that you're not able to access unless you get through a few unaccessible doorways. And we had a photo shoot in there with just a mate of mine. We were just wandering around, but it was the place that was shelter and it had history, and people lived there.
Yeah,
you know, it had that history. It had that.
Yeah.
Every time you walked around, there was ghosts in the room. Like there'd been people. It was an old council building, I think it was, and you know, you'd imagine it would have been an office. It would have been people walking around doing their office jobs, and it became a hotel. It became a shelter. You know, there was a lot of people who are less unfortunate that were living there, you know, sitting outside in the rain or coming inside into the hotel, which became the shelter. And that was a story about that building, really.
And was that in Africa?
That was in Darwin.
I was in Darwin.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then from there, we're on the beach with Shiva. Yep. And it seems like in this one, there's a big change about to happen in your life.
Yeah, East Timor, that was written in.
Oh.
Written in East Timor after we did walk over a mountain with my soon-to-be wife, who's with us now with 4 kids. Walked over a big mountain. There's an island when you get to East Timor called Aotearoa. You walk over the hill and you're absolutely on your own on the other side. And there's a reef right out front. And we were desolate. And when we came back the other side, the song came out with literally in about 5 minutes.
Wow.
And that's cool. The shiver you get up your spines when you're unexpecting something, you know, like you boys would have had it as well when it's kind of like deja vu in a way where you walk into something, you're like, wow, I'm meant to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly the feeling I get from that. And then the album sort of gets a bit more positive. We've got Golden Age, and then which is good. And then all of a sudden, Casanova interests me. Then we get to Casanova, and then before long, we're getting dangerously close to deep water.
You're thinking about White Lilies or something?
White Lilies, yeah. White Lilies, that's the one, yeah, because that's a meaning of death, isn't it? White Lilies.
Yeah, well, that's when it goes back. That's when it's a bit more political speech, if you like. A bit more. Like I left Australia and I went to New Zealand first for 3 years on these travels.
Yep.
And that because I hated what Australia was doing to itself, and it's still doing it to itself.
Yep.
That's more about that, and it's the passion behind it. like the blues come so easily and they're very easy to write about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can go through the list of songs on there. Like Tales is about my stepfather. Cards is a very sad song. Wander is Wandering, which is a beautiful. Casanova is about a really close friend of mine who is the Casanova. Or was, I should say was.
Oh, there's some great lyrics in there as well. So in happiness at
body
the
of
end
work,
too.
isn't it?
Yeah. I think so.
Like,
What's happening next though, Josh?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
It has been 5 years, but I also have had 4 children in
kids.
about 6 years. So bit busy. I've written a lot of music, and I think I've been saying it for the last 3 years. I'm really looking forward to recording some. I've definitely got an album sitting there. I've just got to put it together. But it's one of those things, like you boys have highlighted, that it's not one genre. So I'm trying to fit it into a genre.
Oh,
Right.
Interesting. Why?
And I've got to hock the right musicians around. So I've definitely hit up a few people. Like in the small community we live in here, there's not a plethora of musicians as there was in Darwin, or mate, in the Carter Bay. I was just lucky I landed on a hot spot there. But I'm slowly uncovering people that play obscure instruments and would be able to be a part of it. So I'm positive about it. I'm trying to get back on just singing songs in front of the camera again. I haven't been doing that for a while, and it'd be good to show people that I'm still writing songs.
You've got a pretty decent data link now. It's easier to connect with musicians that way. I can send stuff off for collabs.
Well, that'd be good. If you got some insight, Robbo, you please send it off to me.
What made you end up in Agnes, mate? That's a beautiful spot. You don't have to convince me of that, but
when I was 17 and I travelled up the East Coast, this is one of the spots I came to, and my partner, she had never been to Queensland, so when I met her and we were in Darwin, we came for a road trip with our big dog Bunya, and we ended up. This was a ghost town, mate. They couldn't give away anything here, so this was the spot. She's an ocean girl, so it's close enough for her to access the ocean and the reef and be in the water. And I native the land, so we're back from Agnes in the bush here, and we love it enough because the kids are rowdy enough, so we don't annoy too many people.
So you always force your kids to learn instruments,
mate. There's enough instruments here. I used to run what I call a musical orphanage, where everyone in Darwin used to give me their instruments when they'd leave, and I have a plethora of instruments.
Yeah. Train them up.
So, Josh, tell me, why are you
Sorry,
trying to get it all into the one genre for the album? What's the mindset there? Because one of the beauties about your music is that wide diversity.
I think it's for a flow of an album, and you've got to meet, like, for a flow, you've got to try and find the right musicians to play the right songs.
Yeah.
And so a lot of, like, I've got a lot of these, like, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, I had this real folk inspired moments playing the banjo. There was all this really nice folky, and it's real raw, but you need the right people to play with you. I'm not saying I don't have those people, but I need different elements from different people to make it all happen. For an album, like Tabe was saying, it's nice for an album to flow. Yeah, and that's what I tried hard to make sure the album play, because I love listening to albums. To make it flow, every song flows into each other. I don't want that clunkiness. Although it does do it a little bit. It goes from, the random blues song to a reggae song, but, or a ska song. But I think it's important. Maybe I'll release small increments of, like a small EP here of roots, and then a small EP of something else.
I understand what you're saying. I think maybe not the same genre, but you just want a cohesive sound
Correct,
all the way through. So it could be a reggae song, could be a blues song, but you want that sound. Yeah.
And it gets
reggae
harder
and
to
blues.
meet the right people and the right musos that bring that colour to your sound.
Yeah.
Reggae and blues always, not dissimilar in a funny sort of way.
Yeah, they're very close. Yeah,
got that syncopation and all that sort of stuff. Like a lot of guys do both, right?
Yeah, they do.
You need the guy with the freaking one string in the bottle.
Oh, Gasper, mate, he's well renowned now.
Has he been to WOMAD? Because I've seen guys playing shit like that at WOMAD.
in England.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so eventually Matthias got him, and he recorded a song on the beach, and everyone was so fascinated with this guy playing a 3-meter instrument. You could look him up, Gaspar Nali. Yeah. You look him up, mate, he's had billions of views. It's incredible. His story is amazing from nothing. Made his own, and they got the wire from a tire. The tire that has wire in it. They pull it out. Yeah. They make the whole instrument themselves, mate. And he's got a kick drum with a hi that he's pulled off a goat or something. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I love that sort of stuff. That DIY, because the music's got to come out some way. So you just got to make it yourself if you can't get
That's it, mate. And you know what? Yeah. That's Africa in a nutshell, mate. You make it happen.
Well, I go to WOMAD every year, and every year there's a couple of African bands that just blow your mind because they're playing all these different things. And then if you stay with, I don't know if any of you guys have been to WOMAD, if you stay like for the last day, you'll get some collabs then. So you'll get some guy from Kentucky on the banjo and a lady playing the Kyoto 3-stringed thing from Japan and some African guy on a tire, and it's just,
I did this migrant day the other day at work, and we had this young 17-year-old Mongolian girl. She had this trad instrument about, like a metre and a half long. And she played this backing track. She dressed in complete trad clothes, came out on stage, sat down on a chair and said, "Could you hit my backing track?" And like 3 seconds in, she's got turn up, and it's this rock backing track. She's playing this trad Mongolian instrument, and she just ripped and tore. And I've just gone,
and was it just a one-string instrument?
One string, yeah. She's 17 years old, man. She's the quietest little thing I've ever seen. And the only thing she said to me was, "Turn it up." And I've gone, in a little bit of me fell in love right then.
What did she play it with, Rob? Did she play it with her fingers? Or?
Pick, fingers and pick, like fingers, yeah. It was like and it was really funky, groovy backing track too. But that's what I mean. Like you just
amazing.
Do.
I'm looking at Gaspar Nali now on YouTube.
There you go.
And there's nothing special about this instrument. It's like a fence post.
It's
amazing.
A good way to describe it,
yeah.
Or a log that you pulled down from the forest.
Yeah,
a lot of those southern blues guys would have started off on things like that too, right?
If you've got music in you make it happen.
It's going to come out. That's right.
Yeah, you see some of those blues guys. They'll get a string, a steel string from an old piano or something. Put a nail in the table, tie it to that, and pull it tight, and then play it like that, with a bobble or something. I
will tell you, Ian Ryland from Rose Tattoo, also from X, used to have piano strings on his bass.
Wow,
is that right?
Yeah, and
his frets wouldn't have lasted long.
No, well, he didn't last long either, mate. I'll tell you. But yeah, he was a beast of a player. Beast. 20-cent piece.
All right.
Was that what his pick was? 20-cent piece.
Yeah.
So you reckon, Josh, when you do record, will you go to a proper studio? Will you try and do it at home somehow?
No, sure. I'm still fiddling that out. Obviously, being in isolation, but I've got enough crew behind me to be able to make something nice, but it still has to be, because there's so much diversity in what I'm bringing. Like, I've got a song I wrote during COVID that requires a massive band, and the band I had in Darwin probably was that band. I don't rehearse enough here to make that sound happen, but it's about getting all the guide tracks so that everyone knows what they're in for.
Yeah.
It won't be long.
Incredible.
They're in for. That sounds daunting.
And you're getting plenty of work around the traps there, mate. I kind of know all the venues where you're at, and but you mainly play solo, unless it's a festival, and you get that kick on bass then.
The whole story of Benevolent, I was in a band. I created a band in Byron when I studied in Lismore there, and I created a band, and I got kicked out of my own band. And since then, that's when Benevolent became Benevolent.
Why did you get kicked out? Why'd you get sacked?
Because the drummer was the boys got a drummer in. It was a great band. It was a little folky band of violinists, a lumberjack violinist, and a acoustic guitarist, and we were having great times. And then they wanted their mate as a drummer. He came in, and it was all good, but he was a singer also, and he wanted the band, so he got the band.
Oh,
fair enough.
Interesting. Josh, I'm going to start winding us up now. Got a couple of questions here that the boys never know what I'm going to ask. So
here we go.
The first question I am going to ask is, if you were to give one of your fans or one of your followers your phone with your playlist, your favorite playlist on it, and they hit shuffle, what is the one song that you really hope doesn't show up?
I don't really think there is a song that I would be unappreciative of. I wouldn't put it on the playlist otherwise.
So there's nothing that you'd be embarrassed about on your
Not really.
Your
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not going to get embarrassed. Like, I put it on there. I take ownership for it. That's my song.
Yeah.
What a guy.
That was my jam back in 92. It's still my jam now. That's good.
Is there a song that they'd be surprised is on your playlist?
I don't know. I don't think so, because often I get back to just loving acoustic versions of anything.
Oh, Sunday.
I like it stripped back. I like to hear the where it came from, because that's where music comes from for me. So I like the stripped back of anything.
Great answer.
If they work with just a guitar, they'll work in any which way.
Well, I want to hear it the opposite way. So if I can hear it in the big sound, I want to hear it stripped back with an acoustic guitar, and then I know it. Then I know I can feel the heart of the song.
Yeah.
And if the heart's not there, I know that it was a made song as opposed to a heart song.
Well,
yeah.
Interesting.
Good point.
Interesting. Just the last question then, Josh, is how do you protect your well-being as an artist? So it's a tough old world out there trying to get your music in front. You've had a bit of a breather, and now you're starting to focus on getting some stuff out. So how do you look after yourself?
I think it's about finding the right people to look after your art and knowing your environment to look after your art. Never play too much, just play enough. And also find the right avenues, because there's so many avenues. Like, I know that art in Australia is on a downhill track, but there's so many grants and there's so much support out there if you seek it. A lot of people complain that there isn't, but there is if you really do. Like, I know in the top end, mate, they would go bat for you straight away, and they're great. I often still ring them. Like, if I need a question from APRA, or if I need a question from Music NT, I'd rather go to them in the being a small fish as opposed to in Queensland where you're a bit diluted. But yeah, it's trying to find the right avenues for it. I guess it's hard in where we are here, Curly. There's not a lot of hope here. So I'm trying to think outside the box to try and put, when I do record, to try and push that music a bit further out and trying to put it on the map a little bit more.
There's a whole story around being an Agnes, and that's where you've probably started to settle into your life from this whole journey that you've been on. So, there's a marketing pitch in there somewhere, right?
Well, now you got good internet, Josh. The world's your oyster.
Well, that's it. Yeah, you just got to find time between 4 little ones.
Yes.
Oh man,
that's true. But we need more music from you, mate. So
yeah, absolutely.
I definitely look forward to starting the next chapter of recording. only seen a post the other day. It was 5 years since I recorded Wanderers, and Wanderers was recorded in 2 days. So it's it's a tribute to what I try and do is make it efficient as possible when you go in to do something, and I hope that hopefully in the next 6 months I can do the same.
Awesome.
Absolutely. What's your favorite social media platform? Where should people look you up to see you at your best?
Good question, Curly, because I'm not very good at it, but I will be trying to do some recordings. Look, I've tried to step up my social media activity. Facebook, I've got an Instagram account as well. So you find Benevolent Music on both of them, and I will try my best to start putting out some raw acoustic music, because I think
drive to Agnes Water and go and watch him live.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Excellent. I'll make sure those links are in our show notes, and we'll play some snippets of some of your songs. Personally, I love Golden Age, so that I'll find a space to put in a snippet in there around that song. Ben, it's been Josh, sorry, it's been awesome having you on the show. Finally, the first time we tried to get you on, the internet was not playing well, and it's good to see that the old Starlink is working.
It works, mate. It's a great upgrade.
Absolutely.
But thanks, Jen, for having me. It's a privilege to get to talk about my music. Sometimes you feel a little bit lost out here in the bush, so it's lovely to be able to talk to people who love music as much as you guys do.
Mate, it's been awesome having you. So, and just for those listeners, if you do want to showcase your music, please reach out. So, as our guests for next week, they're North Sydney, which apparently is in Queensland, which should help us at Origin time, I think. So, North Sydney band Penny Deluxe is joining us, and they're going to be here to talk about their song Stereo Romance. And I can see Rossy wants to say something.
Penny Deluxe.
North Sydney being in Queensland.
Do you know him, Rossy?
No. Unfortunately, I won't be here for them next week, as you know.
Yeah. He doesn't like Queenslanders. So.
That's right. Oh, no, I'm just surrounded by the bastards, you know?
Well.
If you have loved what you heard, hit follow, share the show, and dig deeper into our Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Amazon playlists, where, of course, we'll also be putting some of Ben Evolent's music and his songs. Just remember, more artists, more stories, more reasons to listen. This is Unfiltered and Undiscovered, and we will see you all again next week. Thanks, Ben, and thank you again, as always, Rossy and Braggy. See you all later.
Thanks, Jen.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. If you've liked what you've heard, please do us a favor. Hit follow, leave a rating, and share it with a mate who needs some new music and a little bit of laughter in their lives. We're all about discovering the songs that actually mean something. So if you're into raw talent, great stories, and music that hits you right in the guts, you're in the right place, and we'd love to see you back again next week. Don't forget our Spotify playlists. Every damn song, every track we've ever talked about, rising female country artists, and undiscovered covers. And just now, they're not just available on Spotify. You'll also find them on YouTube Music and Apple Music as well. Now, we will be back next week with more music, more stories, and probably some more arguments. But that's what keeps us unfiltered. We'll see you next week.
Hidden in the obstacles amongst the playground equipment. And if I could find all the faults, you think I'd pay more attention. No need to be here until the bitter end. Don't be crazy, I won't be coming back the same old way. Not at least without permission. Like a cinder in the wildfire, drifting away. And I'll give in to life and get back to living like I live loose, said Larry King.